They stopped naming them because they get debunked every time. Ah, they're just gonna lie with, like, even worse information?
Yeah, I'm gonna lie too, live. Like right now, like you're doing too. I was recently sent a video that was interesting to me, so to speak. I was informed that a certain person was talking about kiwi farms of all things. And apparently a streamer that I am aware of was mentioned in this. I don't really know. But, well, we're going to see what exactly goes down, because I have been told some things about what happens here, but I don't really know. What I will say is I am not the biggest fan of kiwi farms. I think it should go away. We don't need it. It's just for a bunch of virgins that have nothing better to do with their lives. Now, that said, we're going to hear the perspective of a certain VTuber going over a article from the Washington Post. Everybody say hi to Kirsche. I've covered one of her takes before on this channel, and today we're covering another one. Let's see what she has to say, okay?
The endless battle to banish the world's most notorious stalker website. The anonymous forum known as Kiwi Farms keeps popping back online despite a relentless campaign by transgender activists and a former insider. This is kind of weird that they're like going on this crazy crusade to try and bring down Kiwi Farms when I think everybody knows Kiwi Farms is going to outlive every single one of these transgender activists. They hate what they can't control.
The thing is, I think it was Cloudflare that dropped Kiwi Farms initially, but you can't actually properly stop it. And if people are, Kiwi Farms is a place known for doxing and harassing people, and I don't have any stories off the top of my head, but is that not the kind of behavior that leads people to ending themselves? Is that really something that is worth defending? Perpetuating the harassment of people that you just don't kind of like? Is that where we're going with this?
When he heard that Kiwi Farms had been knocked offline, Clay, a member of the anonymous online forum, was flooded with relief. I thought to myself, this hell on earth has finally been vanquished. So he signed up for Kiwi Farms, and then was relieved when it got taken down. I like props to Kirsche though, because despite how many times it has gotten knocked down, he has always found a way to bring it back up.
I mean, it's just like 4chan and the Pirate Bay. You can take them down, but they just transfer hosts. But the thing with Cloudflare dropping Kiwi Farms was pretty fucking big, because I can't remember exactly. I think it was that there was something about protecting the owners of the websites. I can't remember. We'll see. I hope she's going to go through all of this article so like we can all go through it together. And I'm going off of some stuff from my memory. I haven't really looked into Kiwi Farms too much. I just know it's a cesspool of doxing and harassment.
Like every single time. Like he's just like a crotchety old man having to restart his basement generator all the time. It's hilarious how such evil people like their tubas. I mean, it's like when years ago, when people first asked me like my opinions on it, it's like, if you wanted to learn about someone as like a content creator that you were going to be interacting with, they have archives of information that go back years on like sketchy people. They've outed some real pieces. Yeah, like the site has value. Like if you... How
many horrible pieces of shit have they outed compared to just random people that they don't actually like, and then they've dived into things and looked for things that weren't there. Like, Marina, let's be real. That's not going to stop them. That's the community they've cultivated thus far, and just saying don't go harass is, in my opinion, a virtue signal so that they can just keep doing it under the guise of the Kiwi Farms themselves is not responsible for Kiwi Farms' members going around harassing people.
If you're a piece of and you're going out and you're like abusing people, you're assaulting people, you're people, I'm not gonna care that much if you get doxxed. I just feel like, you know, there's also some people that don't care who the person or the target is, and they'll just do it to anyone because it's fun or it's a challenge or whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of people on Kiwi Farms like that too. Who knew? Who knew that the people that maliciously attack people via doxing and all that fun stuff also just happen to hang out with people who do it for funsies? What a shocker.
Like, I don't like that, obviously. It's wild how much effort has been taken to conspire against the forum, which does nothing more defamatory or dangerous than gossip tabloids. Yeah. It's just because it's a archive website, a gossip website that they can't control. And not having control over something drives them wild. I like how they tried painting Kiwi Farms as anti-trans specifically for them going after Keffals, when it's like, I'm sure a lot of the people on that website do hate. They didn't go after Keffals because they were trans. They went after Keffals because of the things Keffals was doing. They went.
What was Keffals doing besides pointing out that they actually do harass and dox a lot of trans people? They deleted posts that planned cow tipping in regards to the Smug Gruko thread. I don't know what that thread is. I'm not a fan of Kiwi Farms here.
After Keffals because they were a piece of... The identity was tertiary, if anything.
What did Keffals do? What did Keffals do that warranted the treatment she got from Kiwi Farms? Are you going to go into that part?
I value anonymity. Even if I wasn't a VTuber, I would still value anonymity. Like, as someone who's watched Jim for a gajillion years, I've never wanted to, like, find out who he is behind the avatar. Because it's like, this is what he wants to present to people, this is what he feels comfortable with. Why would I try to dig for more, right? You know?
Why would you support or defend a website that is explicitly about doing that, though? Like, that's what Kiwi Farms does. It fixates on a target and then does everything it can to find out everything about that target that they can use against them. Like, Kiwi Farms just happens to, I would assume, in this instance, just happen to not care about that particular person. But if that particular person said something that triggered Kiwi Farms, they would definitely go after him. It's just kind of the people that hang out there. That's kind of what they perpetuate. That's kind of what they do. Given, like, I don't personally browse Kiwi Farms. I browsed 4chan, but not Kiwi Farms. I know some people who do congregate there. It's a cesspool. That's all I gotta say. As someone who knows a bit about her, I'm not surprised she is defending Kiwi Farms. Yeah, this isn't the first time she came up on stream, and this isn't the first time I have pushed back against her. Believe It had to do with homemade hormones being sent to children, which, as a trans person, even I would find sus. Like, legal age of majority should matter in that, to that regard as well, IMO. Wait, the Keffals advocating homemade hormones? Because, welcome back, Tiberius. Because to my knowledge, or to my understanding, like, I haven't watched a fuck ton of Keffals, I've actually kind of only been watching her more recently these days. So I don't recall every little bit about what was I saying? I don't recall every little bit about the homemade hormone stuff, but I believe she was of the position that if you're in a state where you actively can't get that proper procedure to get hormones, then go with DIY homemade hormones. I don't know. Did she literally send them to children? She was more so a sponsor to the site that endorses it, I believe. Okay, so she didn't directly send homemade hormones to people. If I'm not mistaken, it was like sending HRT to places where you can't legally get it. And of course, it's going to be homemade stuff because you're not going to actually get physicians that will be willing to lose their that would be willing to lose their practicing license just by trying to do the right thing and giving trans people that life-saving care. She didn't really like Marina, she merely endorsed it. Yeah, I mean, I get vibes from her. I'm getting some kind of particles off of Kirsche.
Yeah. Founded in 2013, Kiwi Farms has been used to organize vicious harassment and stalking campaigns against targets including Clara Sorrenti,
True,
a transgender activist known as Keffals, and Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene, a far-right Republican.
Wait, Kiwi Farms went after Marjorie Taylor Greene? That's fucking hilarious. Leopards eating people's faces party. Let's go.
I mean, that means they're equal opportunity, though. They're for equality. They're not going after people based on an identity. They're going after people who are...
Why did Kiwi Farms go after MTG? Like, did she particularly attack him? Yeah, I thought Kiwi Farms was older than 2013 as well. I just know that MTG is fucking deranged. I am amazed that she is in office and continues to be in office. Like, she supported Gen 6 explicitly and is still in office.
So what's the problem here? It went down exactly 1 year ago after Cloud...
I would say the problem, a lot of it is, you know, the overall site being to harass and dox people. Even if it's going towards bad people, it's still a bad tactic to use. I think that's the main argument that people use against her. I was thinking that MTG's the bitch who shat her pants at a party. These far-right Quisling girls all look the same. You're thinking of Caitlyn Bennett. Caitlyn Bennett was the one that gets made fun of for being poopy pants by, like, most famously, Lil Nas X. That was really funny. Yeah, MTG is, she's freaky. And not in, like, the fun, sexual kind of way of freaky. She's, like, she looks like a Titan from Attack on Titan, just to our scale.
Cloudflare, a major tech security firm, stopped providing services, saying contributors to the forum were posting the home addresses of those seen as enemies and calling for them to be shot. But in the week that followed, Kiwi Farms...
What? Was she laughing right there? Is that funny? That it's happening?
And calling for them to be shot. But in the week that followed, Kiwi Farms scrambled to stay alive, jumping from Russian servers to a Ukrainian hosting service to Vonwatech, a Vancouver, Washington-based hosting and security company, infamous for providing refuge to 8chan, a message board notorious for white supremacist content. As it became increasingly clear that Kiwi Farms would not go down without a fight, Clay, who spoke on the condition that he be identified by a pseudonym to avoid retribution, joined forces with Liz Fong Jones, one of Kiwi Farms' fiercest adversaries, and launched a dogged campaign to keep the site offline. Over the past year,
Kiwi Farms goes after anyone they dislike, like they have community cringe forums for pro-Trump and anti-Trump groups. Like, that shows they have no real moral compass. It's about the hate. It's about the anguish. It's about hurting people. That's personally why I'm against it. It's not that Kiwi Farms is transphobic. No, Kiwi Farms has a culture that is focused on the perpetuation of that anger and taking it out on other people. And it just so happens that a huge part of the political sphere in the global north talks about trans people disproportionately in like all of their media, and that kind of just disseminates it. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a disproportionate amount of trans people that are being attacked by Kiwi Farms.
Here, their little group of internet sleuths, trans engineers, and activists has methodically chased Kiwi Farms across servers and networks around the globe, successfully persuading more than 24 companies to drop the site. Doesn't this make them the stalkers and not Kiwi Farms?
Really? Where Kiwi Farms does all this putting people's names and addresses out publicly, and then a handful of people are like, hey, that's fucked up, you shouldn't do that. And Kirsche here is like, they're doing the same thing. It's such a false equivocation to me.
Doesn't this mean that they are the ones doing a harassment campaign against a silly little forum?
Against a silly little forum? Do you know what happened to Keffals? Seriously, Kirsche, do you know how broad that coverage became? Do you know what actually happened because of her docs being put on Kiwi Farms? Or are you just talking out your ass?
That basically serves as an archive and as a news resource?
People you don't like's home addresses and IRL names are not something that should be archived, especially when so many people online are fucking deranged enough to do something about it with that information. Like, you're downplaying the threat of doxing right here, girl.
This makes them the harassment campaign. I don't know if they understand the irony here.
Kiwi Farms can't be bad because the people opposing Kiwi Farms are harassing Kiwi Farms.
I don't really know if they notice it. Their enemies are doxers? Oh my god.
Yeah, there's a lot of highly educated people that are against Kiwi Farms. Is that a bad thing?
The good guys are a matter of perspective. I mean, maybe they do notice it, but they're just like, it's not harassment when we do it. We're on a justice campaign.
It is still harassment when they do it. It's just justified because it's being done in the protection of people who can't defend themselves. People who could be pushed to, I don't know, suicide?
We're bringing justice to the bad guys, therefore what we're doing is correct. When they do it, it's bad. It's funny how they won't bring up the DDoSing. The group's Sisyphean battle illustrates the lack of mechanisms for reporting online abuse.
Like, that last statement was obviously her reading out something from chat, but like, this entire thing is like downplaying the entire fucking threat. Because, like, depending on what you say to the police when you attempt to SWAT, that could just be a knock at the door and somebody checking what's up. Or that could be, I don't know, as a random example, that could be waking up to an officer pointing their gun at you. Is that really something you want to downplay? Is that something you really want to play defense for?
Much less for banishing harmful content. It also raises serious doubts about society's ability to block any site from the global web, even one that explicitly incites violence. I don't think society should have that ability. I don't think any sites should be blocked from the global web. If
Like, I get freedom of speech, but there comes a point when people are only using their freedom of speech to incite violence that things should be interacted on. Like, I don't think people should be fucking putting out such fucking doxes. I don't think people should actually be doing that. Will I get pissy if somebody I don't like gets doxed? No, I don't think I'll actually personally care. I'm personally not going to do anything with somebody's dox, but I don't think it should be done at all. I don't think people should be doxed. In particular, there can be certain cases, like if you're a confirmed predator, that I'm a little more okay with. Freedom of speech is cool and all, but please shut the fuck up. Yeah, that's kind of the argument I'm hearing from here.
somebody genuinely has the idea, a terrible thing, if somebody sets up like a kill all X group website, it's better that everyone knows it exists and you can see what they're doing. Is it not? Farms is pretty...
No. Leaving it to just grow is just going to leave it to fester and become worse. You gotta actively push back against those that are actively inciting violence. Unless you just don't care that they're doing this. You know what's better? Cutting them at the source. True. Like, the people actively bringing this stuff back up, I think should be in jail.
Clear they ban anyone who actively calls for real-life activity on stuff or is caught having done it. Yeah. Like, they even have rules put into place. And, like I said earlier, I hope Kirsche never bends over backwards. I hope he keeps fighting this even if it looks absolutely ridiculous. I hope he keeps the little fluffy farmer site online as long as he possibly can. Isn't the whole purpose of the World Wide Web to prevent them from blocking stuff from being removed? Yes. Yes, it was. Founded by Joshua Moon, a former
Another thing I'm thinking about, that argument that she just made for doxing websites can also be made for websites that promote child images. I'm not talking about lolicon, I'm talking about actual children. Isn't it better that people know that there's actual CP out there so that we can all condemn it personally? Isn't it better that it's still out there, that they can't take it down? No! It's not a good thing that that's out there at all.
Chan administrator, Kiwi Farms evolved into a popular platform for creating harassment campaigns. I think Twitter has better harassment campaigns than Kiwi Farm does. Like,
really, Kirsche? Because Twitter harassment campaigns tend to stay on Twitter. Sometimes they leak into your audiences. Sometimes it goes into your streams. Sometimes into your comments. But mostly, people will just drop a comment on a Twitter thread in like a Twitter dog pile and then stop thinking about it. Kiwi Farms picks specific people and then incessantly chases them for years and years and years and years. How is that equivalent? Like, you make a public take on Twitter and then a bunch of people disagree, so they all at once share their disagreements. So while the individual doesn't think they're harassing the person, it comes across that way to the person with the original, to the person getting dogpiled. Like, really?
Like, what did they mean by this?
What did they mean by this?
Its users often fixated on transgender people, relentlessly stalking and doxing them. At least 3 of its victims died by suicide. If you tell me that someone has a thread on Kiwi Farms, like a specific person has a thread on Kiwi Farms, I'm not gonna think, oh no, what are they a victim of? I'm gonna think, alright, how f***ed up is this person and what did they do? Because if you get to the point of having your own thread on the farms, you've done something weird, right? Like...
Or you just pissed off a nerd that happened to try and weaponize the fucking platform against you. Like, it looks like this article is going to be going into what happened to Keffals. Let's just see how she responds to that. Because right now, I'm getting the impression that she's okay with people having killed themselves. Like, if somebody does a fucked up thing in the past, and then they recognize that it was fucked up, and then they don't do it again in the future, I don't want people to be bringing that up constantly until they fucking kill themselves. That's just me. True freedom of speech can never be done, and for good reason. There are irredeemable people that can and never should be forgiven. I will agree that not everybody can change, but I still think we should still push for people to try and change. Because if people think like, oh, people are never going to accept me because I did this fucked up thing, there's no point to life anymore, what I've done was terrible and it's always going to haunt me, might as well end it. That's not a bad person leaving the world. That's a person who recognized the harm they did and actually reflected on it. Seriously, what the fuck is with defending Kiwi Farms?
You've got some skeletons in your closet, man.
Everybody does. I made a very ableist video that is bigger than anything that's currently on my channel. It's unlisted, but it's still out there. I've also done some bad shit. I was damn near being a Nazi, like an actual Sieg Heiling Nazi. But I'm not anymore. It doesn't have to define you. It'll define you if you fucking let it. And this website tries to not let you move on. This bitch has full-on corpses in their closet, more than likely, and I've only watched 2 videos of her.
I don't even know like what victims they'd even be talking of, you know?
What victims? The people that killed themselves from the harassment and stalking of the website. They didn't Kiwi Farms didn't do anything to help these people get better. They didn't promote any sort of positive change. They just kept going and going and going until, well, bad thing happened. Hey, Seahorse, we're talking about Kiwi Farms.
They stopped naming them because they get debunked every time. Ah, they're just gonna lie with, like, even worse information?
Yeah, I'm gonna lie too, live. Like right now, like you're doing too.
Henry has a thread? That's not a good defense. Henry has a thread. VTuber thread might be one of the more mentally stable places to talk.
God, I'm sorry to hear that, Seahorse. Like, I fucking hate that this website's still around and people are defending it, for fuck's sakes.
VTubers compared to Twitter and VT. I'd believe that. I'd absolutely believe that. I also don't like how they say that they're often fixated on transgender people. Like, when transgender activists shove this in your face constantly, how is it us that are the ones who are fixated on it? And when it turns out that...
The thing is, look at any somewhat politically engaged person's content. If they are left-wing, they're actually less likely to actually have content regarding to trans people. If they're right-wing, it's a lot of what they fucking put out. Like, especially the pundits, like the Ben Shapiro types, the Steven Crowder types. Those guys non-stop talk trans issues. Hell, even, what's his name? Peter Thiel, one of the biggest funders of the Republican Party, said he's not going to be funding the Republican Party anymore so long as they keep pushing the woke shit, or like keep pushing back against woke shit, because like the culture war shit is getting overblown. Wait, really? Yeah. I gotta find that actually. Like, Peter Thiel wants them to focus on like economic stuff so they can start winning elections again, because he recognizes that the majority of people in the world actually support trans rights. Who knew? I think last I saw, it was roughly 65% of people in favor of trans rights. There was about, I want to say 15% that didn't care. And then like the remaining 10% were actively against trans rights. Hey, Angel Tail. Instead of using trans people as an issue, pick everything up. Yeah, these people would be more interesting to engage with if they did focus on like economic stuff or migration, that kind of thing. But like, all the pundits want to talk about trans people. Like, fuck, look at my channel. I'm trans. How many videos of mine are explicitly about trans rights? Barring this stream. Actually, no, including this stream, there's like 2 segments I'm doing explicitly on trans rights. This one and the next one. And then if you go back through my videos, there's like, I want to say 10 to 15% are about trans issues. The rest are about other things. I've found that it's more often the reactionaries, the quartering types, that talk more about, you know, trans people. They're the ones more invested in it, I find. And we're the ones living with it.
So many of these activists are pieces that participate in really unsavory activities. How is it our fault for pointing out the unsavory activities? Like, I just don't...
Pointing out the unsavory activities? There's a difference between saying, hey, this person has done a bad thing and we need to criticize this person. And there's criticism, and then there's putting out somebody's fucking address saying, hey, let's get the cops to attack them. What the fuck?
Get it. It's like so many weasel words in one article. In response to a request for comment, Moon wrote by email, "Do you still print that rag on a paper? If so, please send a physical copy of your smear piece to the P.O. box listed on the website so I can frame it. Thanks." This guy's funny. Actually, babe.
Calling a stalking website is smearing them. Ah. It's not a great sight. That's all I'm gonna say. And I do know a bit more context about the Keffals stuff. I'll go into that after this video.
The campaign against Kiwi Farms began in earnest last summer. Sorrenti, a Twitch streamer who became famous as a news star for trans youth, had been under attack for months.
Right here, I will say that Keffals did gain some popularity through her IRL organizing stuff. But online, she mostly became prominent, at least to me, by being the girl that ratios everybody. And then that kind of like built on her activism and like dunking on the people that, you know, are pushing back against trans rights and progressivism and all that.
By Kiwi Farms users because of what they were doing in regards to these kids.
What?
Let's talk about...
Wait, what? What was she doing? What was she doing regarding kids? You gonna back that one up, Kirsche?
But the GoFund... Yeah, let's talk about the GoFundMe and how that money went to drugs. Let's talk about all the fleecing that they did.
Faces scam allegations after revealing drug addiction since starting GoFundMe campaign last year. Wasn't that... That one I actually don't quite know about. I should actually look into that one.
After the bathtub hormone cocktails. From her home...
DIY hormones can save lives. They save more lives than fucking Kiwi Farms.
In Vancouver, Fong Jones heard about the harassment against Sorrenti and immediately recognized the tactics. Fong Jones had also been targeted by Kiwi Farms beginning in 2017. I don't even know who the Fong Jones is, but I'm just assuming they're a bad person because, like, anytime someone says that they have been outed by Kiwi Farms, I'm just like, you've probably done something, dude. Like,
Kiwi Farms out so fucking many people. And, like, you can just make an account, can't you? And just out? Also, she is lying about the drug thing. She might be talking about the Catboy Ranch. Like, I know Keffals struggled with drug addiction, and a lot of creators that, like, she was close with had, helped convince her that rehab was necessary. Like, she did go to rehab. And this Kirsche is just bringing it up. Liz Fong Jones is mostly known on the farms for consent accident bit. I have no idea who Liz Fong Jones is. But I wouldn't be surprised if, like, somebody like Vaush was on the Kiwi Farms list because he made an argument equivocating child slavery and child sexual exploitation as both being bad. He might have phrased it a little poorly, so that way, or so then people had clipped that out of context, and now he's called a pedophile over that. Yeah, that guy got called a pedophile because he said both child abuse and child exploitation or child slavery are bad. On that, oh, that part is true. However, she is calming the money instead of suing the police department went to drugs. Right. She was suing the police department because because the police department booked her under her dead name, and she had changed her name years ago, like so many years. And the only reason the police knew the knew her dead name was because somebody from Kiwi Farms sent an email out from her or posing as her, saying she's going to bomb a politician, famous politician thing or whatever, or going to attack somebody or whatever, and that that was how she actually got swatted, or led her to getting swatted. The police had, from my recollection, had shown up at gunpoint to arrest her, take her away, book her. They took all her electronics, her computer, when, you know, streaming is her livelihood. She lost all of that. And all of the evidence was put under her dead name when she's been Clara Sorrenti for, I'm going to say, at least a damn near a decade, if not longer. Like, hell, that story about what happened with Clara or Keffals, and, like, don't forget she was sexually harassed by them. Oh, of course she was. She's a cute trans girl that's being booked by police. It's going to happen, unfortunately. God, I legit feel bad for her. What do you mean about the image based of a forest on the triangle moon? Sure. 100%, yes. But, what's it? I was gonna say, like, what happened? Okay, yeah, the Keffals GoFundMe was to raise money to stop, or to pay for her legal fees, which cost upwards of around $60,000, I think, roughly there. And then people saw the GoFundMe, gave her money, and then she raised like 90,000 or something, which I don't have a problem with, because she said what she was using the money for, which was legal fees, and then got more money. When people can see how much money was already raised, they saw that she had enough and then decided, I'm going to give you more money. To my understanding, that's what happened. You can confirm with, actually there's a video about it where Keffals talks to Vaush, of all people, about what happened to her. And this is where my knowledge is coming from regarding that. It was a pretty good convo, given the circumstances. Wait, no. For those that don't know, Jagmeet Singh, yes, it's pronounced Jug, is one of the leaders of one of the main political parties in Canada. And even he said support Keffals. Even one of the biggest politicians in Canada was talking about this. And, like, and vote NDP if you're Canadian. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Is the bitch done yet? No, she's not done. She's not done for another 2.5 minutes.
Why would I trust you? I don't trust you.
I'd say that goes both ways, Kirsche.
I trust the cute little bird, not you. Lorelei had never heard of Kiwi Farms and was distraught by what she learned from Fong Jones' presentations. The group began spending dozens of hours each week navigating the Byzantine web of network infrastructure, trying to ferret out connections between no-name intermediaries to track down Kiwi Farms' new home. Then they would send carefully worded emails to those companies' employees, even cold messaging on LinkedIn, to persuade them to stop working with the website.
I know, that is so fucking frustrating to me. I noticed them too.
This is crazy.
You know, there is a saying that, or there is a thing going on that a lot of right-leaning creators are backed by, you know, certain politicians. Like, they're paid to push conservative talking points. Chris Raygun actually talked about this, where a while back he got an email saying that, or he got an offer saying, hey, if you push conservative talking points, we'll give you a substantial amount of money. And he had said that it became really obvious of the creators who took that money. So I wonder, do the Republican dark money web, does that extend to VTubers as well? Or is it just these people agree with Kirsche and want to give her money? Because, like, nothing wrong with giving money to your favorite creator. I worry. That's it.
They can't stand that a bunch of people in a corner of the internet are
It probably extends wherever they want. Yeah, what I mean is, have they even noticed VTubers yet, is my thing.
archiving people doing things while also saying words that you're not allowed to say. Those
Doing shit things like raising money to pay for a lawyer when you get attacked or essentially harassed by the goddamn police? How horrible.
words are bad, and we can't let you have a corner of the internet where you call people candy-ass Rudy Poos. That's just too far.
You can call people candy-ass Rudy Poos. I don't give a fuck. Don't put their address online just because you don't like them.
The group operated in cells in case they were doxxed, but kept track of every internet provider they persuaded to cut ties with Kiwi Farms. Moon had a few major advantages. After earlier attempts to take down the site, he incorporated as his own internet service provider, acquiring his own physical hardware, network resources, and a block of IP addresses, making Kiwi Farms much more difficult to dislodge. It marks the site as a peer on the internet, meaning Moon directly receives any abuse reports and is entitled to a presumption of good faith. I like how they say this like it's a bad thing, and how it should make people worried or scared. This is a good thing. This is a good thing. And if they manage to take him offline, imagine the sites they will try to go after next.
Yeah, the website that has driven at least 3 people to suicide is a good thing. Kirsche, do you understand what you're saying?
Like, even if you are someone who for some reason, like, genuinely hates everything that the farm stands for, you need them there.
No,
If
I
the
don't.
farms falls, other sites are going to come under this magnifying glass. Other sites are going to have these harassment campaigns perpetuated against them, and you might not even hear about it. You might just wake up and one of your favorite places is gone the next day, much like the massive subreddit purge, where any kind of wrongthink was removed from the site. This is just advocating for censorship? Yeah. That's why I said earlier, again, like, I hope it's going to be exhausting, and I'm sure he's sick of dealing with it, but I hope he does not give up.
Ah, good times. Okay, should probably text or message Tiberius. That's done. What was the name of that video? Standing up for fruit farmers, Kirsche responds to the Washington Post. Now, I will say that Kirsche herself did not upload that to YouTube. That was uploaded by a clip channel that clips her and another VTuber that I don't really like, that I've covered a few times, Pipkin Pippa. Yeah, it's finally over. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe for more content, and if you want to join the community, feel free to check out the Discord. I love to voice chat in there, so if you want to ever talk, I'm usually available. Well, in the afternoons.